could put that little shelf down, but I guess right now would be. I want to try to play it some more. I've played this game before. I've played it. I remember playing the demo and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna try to save it. Not gonna speed through it. Just gonna sit here and go slow.
Top of the line job there.
Apparently, there's been a natural disaster. Right?
Awesome.
Okay, I find it real ironic that one thing I find ironic with me is I hear my voice a certain way when I'm talking, not on a video, not a recording, everyday normal talking, and I've listened to some of my old playbacks, old videos that I had out, or just recordings of me, period, and realized what I think I sound like is nothing like what I actually do sound. And honestly, it bothers me. Don't know why, it just does. I wonder how many other people feel that way.
Worried I would go over budget.
I mean, I know what one of my problems with the way I sound is, but. 'Cause I can't do nothing about it right now. It's something I'll eventually get fixed, I guess.
I was worried I'd go over budget.
Do a couple more cars, I guess, and I'll order some more fuel. Like I said, I won't say the original loan you get from Uncle is like 5K. It's been a while since I played. Been a while since I have played this game, so it's not totally in memory how much that first loan is. I've never been able to pay it off, and that's because one thing is I've always tried to rush to the beginning of the game, and this time I'm just here.
Have a nice day.
At least I am getting some decent tips. Wow.
Just as I wanted.
Says one viewer and 10 to 1 is more likely to wise guy. I remember when I started this channel. It was when I started streaming, not necessarily on Twitch, but I started streaming on Ustream. Whatever the place, yeah, it was a part of the PlayStation 4. And back then I was really big into MLB The Show. And I was, goof around, pretty much just stream from PlayStation, because I didn't have a computer set up. I didn't have capture card and all that. And I had a couple of content creators that I enjoyed watching. played, actually sat down and played MLB The Show since Otani was with the Angels and was the cover athlete. I want to say 22, 23. I can't remember what year it was. And actually, no, I think I played the year after that with Chaz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm. Yes. Wow. I really hate this. I cannot enunciate words today. Jazz Chisholm. It's when he was playing with the Marlins. But the only reason I played it in was because of it had just come to the you little twerp, where you at? Come on, where you at? Where you at, Dennis? I heard that. There you are. Come on. But the only reason I played it then. And Jazz was on the cover, and I did have an Xbox at the time, and they had just released a set of Xbox players to play. Basically, it's no longer a PlayStation exclusive.
Great.
And I remember for years I was paying the $125 for the digital hard copy. I've got all the, most of the ones that had the hats and everything. I've got the hats and everything. And I would buy the hard copies. I didn't, old school, got to have the physical copy. I'm not, it weren't until later on that I started doing digital stuff like PC. But anyway, I did play it on the Xbox, but it just, to me, it wasn't the same way it was back when it first come out. I mean, I remember the original Diamond Dynasty. It wasn't about, the players. You would get a bunch of generic cards, and you would sign them with contracts, and they'd be like a 7-game, 5-game, 10-game contract, and you would open the packs and everything. But that's the way it was. And if you got a player card, they were only like a 3-game contract. I remember you had to feed the cards to other cards to make them stronger. You had your own player cards, stuff like that. And I remember that. And I enjoyed it. But one of the big things I used to play when I grabbed the game was I loved doing the RTTS, Road to the Show. I'd always make my character, whether it be a pitcher, I'd start out as a starting pitcher, and they'd put me in the bullpen, I'd become a closer, and then graduate back to the starter. Then there was, I was an oddball. I would take my player and start him out on second base. That was, when I played, that's where I originally played, and I would move to the outfield. So what I did is I had my character second base, all outfield stuff. And, I remember back in the game, hey, we need somebody at second or shortstop, which is my move. We need somebody at first or third, to add on. To add on extra positions to better my. I kind of went more realistic with it as to up my value. I would up my value by being a utility man, and I'd always make my character switch. My baseball player switch hitter, even in 14, 15, and 16, you know, it was fun, but it got to the point that I noticed that they were moving away from the offline part of it, and it was becoming more of the competitive online.
Worried I'd go over budget.
The online PvP. You had the Battle Royale, you had the seasons, stuff like that. And like I said, 15 and 16, I tried to do the Battle Royale, and I remember when they first came out with the Battle Royale, you had to win 20 games, not 12. And to get the big prize, it was 20 and 0. And not many people could do that. You know, that was, I can admit, that was the elite of the elite. I was also at the time, like I said, playing on PlayStation, but I was playing on a TV where other people were playing on those. They were playing on monitors, and again, I didn't really know much about it. I was doing it more for the fun of it, and I would stream it. And like I said, I had a couple of content creators three at the time, honestly, that I really watched. Carl Dude, Clutch, Silver, and Redbird. And Redbird was one of the elite players. He 14, 15, 16, I won't say even 17, but that's when about the time he started backing out of it. He would actually do tutorial videos. How to time your hitting, or how to do your PCI. You know, he was that good. He was one of the top tier players at the time. And Carl Dude stopped. You know, I would stream, and I remember Carl Dude raided my stream one time, and it was me and my daughter on there. We were having fun. We weren't doing nothing spectacular. We weren't like, oh yeah, we're trying to get a World Series title or World Series. We were just having fun. More of it, doing the pack opens. And I tried doing that, and I tried streaming, but my problem is I was more interested in the, like I said, the road to the show part of it, and viewership is more into the competitive side of it. Nothing wrong with that. I understand, you know, hey, it's a cliche, or not a cliche. How can I say? It was a small few people that liked the road to the show aspect of it, watching somebody build a character and seeing how they go, see what team they go to, whether they get traded, lifetime player, and then you had some of these content creators that made good videos about, hey, let's take this team and do a 10-year dynasty, and basically they would quick play through the year, and they would play 1 or 2 games here, 1 or 2 games there, but for the most part they were simulating. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. They would sim the games, sim a month here, sim a month, a half a month there, a week here, stuff like that. They would do, hey, we got a chance to get this player. Hey, we need a new player. This player's hurt. We ain't got no good rookies. Let's do the draft. And they would rebuild a team and make a dynasty out of it, or try to. They would take like the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Oakland Athletics. The Oakland Athletics was a big one that a lot of people did because the owner, if you've ever watched Moneyball, it's true. The owner is, he's not a big spender, and that's fine. He just, he understands that he can't compete with like the Mets, the Yankees, the Boston Red Sox. He understands he can't compete with teams like that. He understands his limits. He understands, hey, I don't have that kind of money. I can't just throw it away on a player, paying him $20, $30, $40 million a year. I can't do it, So he always had to do, he was a budget team. And I understood that, but a lot of people would take those athletics and build them up. Ooh, that's loud. No metal cup next time. that, and I gotta figure out how to set this mic up so it's not as sensitive. I think that's the biggest thing that thing's sensitive, and I'm still trying to figure out how to set the gains on it. But you know, I had fun with it. You know, like I said, Carl Dude rated me one time, and I thought that was cool. And
Thank you.
when he did, I ended up getting a bunch of new followers. Matter of fact, 98% of the followers that followed me that time was because of that raid. And I thought, well, maybe I can, you know, do this part-time or try to do this and, you know, see where it goes. But I did have a disadvantage. Well, I'm not going to say I had a disadvantage. I thought I had a disadvantage. I thought I had a disadvantage on... I thought I had a disadvantage. Because of, one, my skill. I'm not a... I can play games. I can have fun with games. And honestly, a lot of my games are... My games are my escape from reality. I don't know if y'all can hear me over the music or not. Hold on. I just... Audio. Let's cut this down to... there we go. That may do better. But, I would try. And... I did have one viewer that would come and watch consistently. Maybe two. But I felt I had a disadvantage. Was it? No. It wasn't a disadvantage of what I was thinking it was, but at the same time it was because I let it get by me. And it still bothers me. Then I tried doing YouTube, and I can't edit videos worth a damn. I've got like 3 videos up. 2 of them I actually edited, and 1 of them I didn't. But it is what it is. If I stream now, it's going to be PC games. I don't have a capture card anymore, so I can't do. I wouldn't be able to even consider streaming MLB.
Have a nice day.
I wouldn't even be able to consider streaming an MLB game. Like I said, I don't have a capture card. So anything I do stream, it'd have to be like it'd have to be a PC game. And and again, when I tried to do it, it was disheartening, discouraging. Lonely. I mean, there was a whole bunch of things put to it. And I honestly, it was my own fault. You know, maybe if I had kept going with it, put a little bit more gumption behind it, or whatever you want to say. Maybe if I hadn't given up. But
Top of the line job there.
for me to be able to make say if I was going to make this my living, you know, live off of it. Would I like to do it? Yeah. I wouldn't mind being a streamer. I'm not saying I don't want to be uber famous, whatever you want to call it, whatever words you want to use. You know, I wouldn't mind having a small following of people that like to gather around, talk games, laugh at me. You know, laugh at mistakes, point things out, you know, or just sit here and, you know, if I could just do videos of games I like to play. And people get to watch them and have fun with it, interact, and whatever, you know. I wouldn't mind doing it. But I also know that for me, at the time when I was doing it, like I said, I wasn't getting but one steady viewer. And I apologize to that one viewer. Because if I hit that start streaming button, or if I was streaming and the notification went out, I knew I was guaranteed that one viewer. And he was a dedicated viewer that he may have not said much. A lot of times he was just alert, you know, sitting there watching and saying anything and interact. But he would have, you know, he or she, they, the viewer would actually come and watch no matter what. And mentally at that time,
Whoa, super.
I couldn't grasp, I couldn't understand that I wanted the 50, 100, 150, 200 viewers at a time, the ones that were interacting with chat, doing things, having fun. Oh my god, I did not realize how long it would take to build up money just selling gas in this game. But I mean, you know, I don't know how to put it. Oh. Sorry, Grandpa.
Great.
I think the biggest thing is I was trying to compare my channel to some of these other channels that were getting the 50, 100, 150, 200 viewers at a time, the chat that was interacting. And I was looking at mine like, why can't I do that? Why is mine flopping? What am I doing wrong? Instead of looking at the fact that, hey, I do have this one viewer that comes and watch. Well, let me build off of that. Let me uplift this viewer. Let me make it where this viewer has content to watch. You know, they're taking time out of their life to watch me stream and make fun of me or watch whatever I do. They're taking the time out of their life to do that. And instead of appreciating that, I second guessed myself. I was like, man, why can't I get viewers? And why am I doing so bad? You know? And I remember after Carl Dude rated me, you know, that 100 followers that ended up basically, I think it was like 90 some people, followed me. And
Great job.
at the time, Twitch had affiliate, you know, you had the partner program and then you had the affiliate program. And after that, I got the email notification, hey, you know, you can be a part of our affiliate program. It's like, cool, alright, cool, and I did it. And like a dummy, instead of appreciating that one viewer and saying, you know something, I'm gonna make content just for him. If somebody else likes it, cool. If not, you know, hey, I've got this one dedicated person that's gonna come and watch me. Even if it is for just 10, 15, 20 minutes. They're coming to watch me. They find something about my content. Enjoy it. And
Honestly, I believe it's the fact that
I ain't gonna lie, I was one of those that went stupid with anger. I would get rage baited by the game. I didn't drop my PC. I know I swear that yeah, I ended up becoming one of those rage gamers that I personally didn't like myself that way. I didn't. I knew I was that way. I didn't like myself that way.
I was worried we'd
I
be
felt
strangers.
that being that type of player was defeating the purpose that I had set out for games a long time ago. See how bad that sits. To me, that isn't what I want it to be. I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be that one that people would, oh, look at him toss to the controls, because I did have a camera and stuff like that. But I didn't want to be labeled as the, ooh, he got mad because he missed the swing, this time to swing. Yeah, I was going to miss time a lot of swings. I was going to miss time a lot of my pitches. I was going to hang a lot of my pitches because, oh, wait a minute, I was playing on a high-end game on a TV. I wasn't playing on a monitor. I was playing on a TV. And, it was a flat screen TV, but it was also a big screen. It was like I won't say it was a 62-inch TV, 65-inch? Oh, one of my first big screen flat screen big TVs. And supposedly it had the game mode where it did, no, you still had the lag. Technically, I never noticed it because that's where I always played. I always played on a TV. I'm sorry, my first gaming system that I ever had was an Atari 2600. Yeah, I just gave away my age. Leave me alone. But excuse me. I got to play the E.T. game. I got to play, the Atari game. And then, I remember when we got the Nintendo, the NES, the original. We were lucky enough that we didn't just get the game, we got the console. My parents went out and actually bought the deluxe edition. It come with the was it the deluxe edition or the upgraded? Because they had 3 versions out when they Nintendo did this.
I was worried we'd be stranded.
You had a basic that was the system, a controller, the chords, and Super Mario Bros. Then you had the middle grade, which was the system, 2 controllers, the gun, the light gun with the wires, and the game actually had, the cartridge had Super Mario Brothers on it and Duck Hunt on it. That's the one we got. And then you had the Elite series, which was the console, 2 controllers, the wires, the light gun, and the track and field pad. And it come with 3 games. It had Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and track and field, which that was the original exercise videos. You sit there, you would run in place, trying your best with your feet. You could play the game with a controller, and you sit there, But you know, track and field pad, you'd sit there and run. You have to jump over the hurdles. You know, it was a workout. And I remember coming home from school and Dad sitting on the floor, getting it all set up. And my God, that damn dog. Anybody who's played that game knows that dog was cruel.
Thanks.
And yes, I was one of those that would put the gun right up to the TV and try to get the ducks. You know, never understanding how that gun actually worked. It was like that. And I remember playing Super Mario Brothers, all that good stuff. And I remember that, you know, like I said, my introduction was Atari and then Nintendo. And then the new game, you know, Sight Bite come out. That was a fun game. Paperboy. Zelda. I remember one of my friends come by and he brought his Zelda game by and let me play it. And I remember how much fun the original Legend of Zelda was. And then I played the Turtle game. Then I played, you know, I played those games. Well, even at 16 years old, this is when you played, you know, I was 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, something like that, when finally everything had upgraded and
Have a nice day.
PlayStation come out. I was still playing the NES, not Super NES, not the N64. I was still playing, you know, because they still somewhat manufactured the games for the NES. You know, back then the consoles kept going for a long time. And I remember going to oh my God, I'm giving away my age. A Toys R Us with my girlfriend, my high school sweetheart. And we went in there to buy her. She wanted a stuffed animal. And it was just something we did, you know, I did for her. She loves stuffed animals. And like for our anniversary or for any kind of special occasion, like if we did something good in school or with the band or, you know, something bad, whatever, I would take her and I would go get a stuffed animal. I remember at the very front of the store was the bargain bin. And in the bargain bin, I can do one more card. I remember the bargain bin at the time when we went in there, she had picked up her stuffed animal, and I was like, hey, let's look at the bargain bin, you know. I had to have been 16 because I was using my own money. Yeah, I had to have been 16. And in the bargain bin was a bunch of old, you know, the older Nintendo games. And that's when I was introduced to Final Fantasy. And oh boy, that she even admitted that was the worst mistake she ever did for me, was let me get that game, because that's when my love for gaming took off. And not in the way people think. My love for gaming comes from the mental escape I got from it. Because I thought it was so cool that
Thank you.
you got these 4 characters, 4 warriors, whatever you want to call them. And not only did, you know, you get them, you got to actually physically change their name. You got to put a name on it. Granted, it was a 4-letter name, but still. And I put my name in as the fighter, the warrior, the knight. And sitting there playing the game, reading the RPG style, reading the text. It actually helped me with my reading in school because, you sitting there playing that game, they would throw words up there like, what the hell? And I would leave it up, and it was one of those that, oh yeah, I better check that. I would get, hey, how do you pronounce this word? Can you help me with this word? What was the meaning? And I started asking questions, and I started wanting to learn language. Because, hey, if I didn't know language and I didn't know the words or how to pronounce them or what the meaning behind them was, I was losing a lot of content of the game. And I remember playing that game and getting so wrapped up in it. And I mean, this is just an 8-bit pixel game that I got lost in. I literally would spend hours playing this game. Ooh, good God, that's a lot of gas. Wow. There's money on that, but that's okay. I remember the fact of when I played that game and I saw my name as one of the characters and people I cared about as the other three, and going through that game and getting the story, but it just weren't, hey, throw papers at a thing or I'm gonna go to this jump, excite bike, try to get through all that. Even with the turtle game, because I played Ninja Turtles before I played that. I remember getting lost in the storytelling of that game. And then I started playing other RPGs. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with RPGs. God, I fell in love with them. They were my escape. They were my safety. And as I got older, more and more RPGs come out. Legend of the Dragoon, Legend of Mana, Final Fantasy 2, 3. And I kind of backed out of it for a while and stopped playing games. I didn't get to play 7 when it first came out. Hey, bud. I didn't get to play Final Fantasy 7 when it first came out because I had walked away from playing games for a while. And then I got my own, I'd had a PlayStation, stuff like that, and I finally got me a new one. And
Awesome.
I'd gotten me a new one, and Final Fantasy 7 first came out picked up. And I remember getting lost in that game. And when I say got lost, I checked, again, I did the stupid stuff. I didn't follow it originally, Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, Red 13. I didn't keep their names. I did change them. Cloud was me. Tifa was somebody somebody else, Aerith with somebody. And as I played the game and the story behind it was just like, oh my god. I remember the calm that come over me. I remember the way it made me feel. I mean, it was just, I loved it. It had a great story. You know, you had the fact that you could explore. Yeah, but it was a pretty linear game. Hey, go here, do this stuff. Go here, do this stuff. Hey, roam around here for a while. Hey, go here, do this, go here. And I was one of those that was affected by the scene in the Lost City. When that happened, I restarted the game. All new, but I left all the original characters' names in it this time. I didn't change them. Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, Red 13, Vincent, Sid, Yuffie, Cat. I would always say Kate Sid. I didn't realize it was Cat that day. But Cat Sid. Shinra and all that. Zack.
Incredible!
I loved it and played it that way. Man, it was actually a totally different experience by leaving their actual names. I still got to be that character, but it wasn't me. It was Cloud, but I'm Cloud. You know, the name stayed, but I could say, hey, I'm Cloud. Then Final Fantasy VIII come out. A lot of people didn't like Final Fantasy VIII because of the junction system. Yeah, okay. Another great story behind it. The love story and everything in between. I love it. Again, it was storytelling. And from that point on, if the game didn't have a story to it, I wouldn't play it. It had to be an RPG, Legend of Lagoon, the story behind Legend of Dragoon, Legend of Mana. Pretty much any Square Enix, Squaresoft, Square Enix. I loved all their RPGs, still do. But then I started playing racing games, because that's what my nephew did. Gran Turismo, Need for Speed 2. Then when I got a PlayStation 2. And I remember they had the hard drive into it and everything. And I got a chance to be a part of... sorry about that. I got a chance to be a part of, you know, something small. You know, they gave it to anybody who had an account and had the network adapter on their PlayStation 2. To be a part of the Killzone testers. And I'm not talking about the alpha testers. I'm talking about the very beginning where they're like, hey, we'll send you a free disc, play this game, tell us any bugs, have fun, you know, tell us what to do. Which is all well and good. I gotta have fun with the game. But anyway, I got to do that because, well, when I got to do that, because I finally broke down and got Final Fantasy 11. I was one of them that was against it. Yes, I'm guilty of it. But I'm sorry. Final Fantasy was sorry about that. Final Fantasy was a single-player game that you got to immerse yourself in. Ooh. Wow. Really sorry about that. but you got to engross yourself in. And I really enjoyed that. So the whole online thing just, yeah. Well, finally I broke down, got Final Fantasy 11 with all the add-ons and stuff. And actually enjoyed it. And that's when I got to do the Killzone test. About that same time, something happened in my life that really changed me. I'd done gotten married, I'd done had a daughter, and I got hurt badly on the job site where I was working. I mean, I got hurt bad, kind of life-changing bad. And that's where the baseball game comes in. And it changed my life. I got here. Now this is where I'm at. Eventually, I started watching YouTube, like, you know, Neebs Gaming, Blinger Food, Glock 9, Daddy DMU. Watched him on Twitch first. Fuzzy, Shelby, you know, and watched some of the games they were playing. Ark, 7 Days to Die, Conan Exiles. So I started trying to play some of those survival games. I like them. And then I went to GameStop, you know, get my MLB The Show game. You know, later on, and I was like, man, I want to try something new. I want to try something new. And I ended up seeing Fallout 4 on sale. And the guy's like, you don't want that. You can buy the brand new and Game of the Year edition for the same price you're selling used. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, bought it. And I ended up liking Fallout 4. And then it's just progressively, you know, hey, I've seen gameplay on this. I've been playing this back before all the DLCs and everything. I remember when, I don't know who the streamer is, or YouTuber is, but I know he's got like a raptor as his logo, mascot, whatever. And he was playing it when it, you know, he played it early on, and that's why I ended up getting it, because watching it, I was like, hey, that does look fun. And I remember when they told him, hey, there's going to be a surprise in the game for you. He's like, okay. And when the party bus comes in, it used to have people dressed as aliens. Well, it had people now dressed as aliens and his character, his logo, or similar to his logo. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, I really watched a lot of Neebs Gaming. And I still do. Watch Glock 9, like I said. And that's what got me playing 7 Days to Die. Matter of fact, Neebs Gaming is the reason I played Subnautica. Neebs Gaming is part of the reason I kept playing Ark, because I was one of those that started and didn't like it because there was no tutorial. That's where Flinger Food come in and Nooblets come in, because I would watch them for tutorials on it. And I know I'm dropping a lot of names right now from YouTubers and stuff. And hey, go watch them. They're good to me anyway. I mean, I think they're good people to watch. No, they're not collabing with me. No, they didn't ask me. This is my personal opinion. This is what I like doing. This is who I like. And like I said, never mind. I've done gone on about a 45-minute ramble. We're trying to get the money up to. Alright, one more. Gotta. Yeah, we'll try one more. Two more. One more, two more, one more, 2 million. We'll see how much you want. Oh, you can really hear my keyboard.
I was worried I'd go over budget.
Hmm. What? I should be able to get one more. Try to push it past that midnight mark. Maybe gas prices will go down. I am still alive, ain't I? Okay. Sorry, I was just checking something.
Just as I wanted.
How can I? Okay. I don't know. 239, I got enough. No, I haven't ordered it. I was trying to wait until the 24th. I should have another one. Oh, no, you don't. Come on. Read that. Come on. Yeah, that's why I keep this bag here. For that little twerk. For him right there. Oh, reason I keep that there. I hope you don't want more than 27 gallons. Or liters.
Pretty much what I asked for.
Wow, you would take that much from me. Oh, come on. What? Oh, it's doing this again. Why? Yeah, why is it not letting me do anything with the pump? Oh, come on. What? Great, it's not letting me go right over the pump again. Oh. Second way, okay. Eh, you stupid. Oh, now you want.
So,
I don't know. It's working all that stuff anymore. I really don't. I wonder. I'll talk to this one. I just looked at my home page. I think I need to do some edits to it. My home page, my page is my home page is a little outdated, or lack thereof updates. That's my own problem, or my own fault. Not really a problem, but my own fault. Again, I'll get it fixed. I might start doing this normally, on a normal basis. You know. And honestly, it'll probably be,
Fun.
it ain't gonna be a specific game. It could be this one, it could be 7 Days to Die, it could be something that's still loud to me. There we go. Alright, yeah, okay, you can probably still go to game, but that sounds a lot better. It could be this one, it could be 7 Days to Die, it could be Long Dark. Hell, I might even throw Mechanic Simulator in there or something like that. I don't know. It's whatever I'm in the mood for. Unless I get to the point that unless I start getting followers that want to see specific games, then I might start saying, hey, this day if I'm streaming, I'm going to be streaming X, Y, Z. And try to do it. But for right now, it's just going to be whatever I'm in the mood for. Just to have a little fun, pass some time, hang out, whatever. It's a wait and see process. Will I take this and probably put it on YouTube? Not this one. I kind of went off on too many tangents on this one. I would have to edit it down badly. Or if people like, I might even start, hey, go in, save this file, and start a whole new one so people can see it from the beginning, and I'll actually do a playthrough of this. Or, I might do a Red Dead Redemption 2, the GTA 5 story. I know that's getting old because GTA 6 is getting ready to come out. Whatever. Like I said, right now, I think my biggest thing is I was trying. Ooh, I went over actually. I think my biggest thing is back then is I was trying to do what everybody else was doing, and that wasn't me. I was trying too hard, too quick, too fast, whatever you want to say, but I was being too much of a try-hard, and eventually I let it get to me. This time, I think if I'm going to do this, it ain't going to be an everyday thing. It ain't going to be a Pacific game, or I want to try to be nothing but an MLB player or gas station simulator. I'm going to do more me. I think one of the biggest things that kind of changed my mind about this was watching
God, I wish I knew who he was. I see clips of him all the time. He plays Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. It's one of the Battle Royale games, I believe. Or all-out battle games. I know it's like a 4-on-4 or something like that. I know it's, like I said, it's either Modern Warfare or Call of Duty, Black Ops. You know, it's one of those games. It's a first-person shooter. And he's an old retired veteran, old military sniper. And he's sitting there playing this game and popping people and laughing. And I realized something that he was doing that I'm not, or I wasn't doing. He was still doing it. Yeah, he's doing it for views. Yeah, he's doing it for clout, whatever. You know, whatever you want to call it. He's doing it for the attention, the money it might be generating, whatever. But he was also still playing for the love of it. He was getting thorough enjoyment out of playing it, playing this game. One of the things I was doing is I was playing what was I was trying to play what was popular and do what was popular. And yeah, I liked the game, but I was losing what the game meant to me. I want to get back to the way I wanted to do it originally when I started streaming. Is I want to play the game that I like, that I'm interested in at the time, that I'm playing or doing with, entertain people if I can, and go from there. And I sound like I'm echoing everywhere. I don't know what I sound like to y'all. I know if I do that, it will help me boost it up. I want to have a good level of capital before I do that loans. I really want to try to pay off that loan. Y'all gonna have to give me just a minute. If you're gonna sit here and see a pause menu, I'll be back in about 15 minutes. Hey everybody. What I'm gonna do? Save. We'll do this one right here. Confirm. Back. I'm gonna call it quits for right now. I'll come back probably a little bit later today.
I want to kind of go through and reset up everything, and next time I stream, I want it to be not me kind of going off on a tangent. I actually trying to explain gameplay and all that good stuff, or just talking. Period. Appreciate everybody that stopped by, and I'll see you later today.